If your cat sleeps next to you at night, you probably think it's just adorable. It's not. What your cat is actually communicating during those silent hours could completely change the way you understand your relationship. And if you've been misreading those signals, which most cat owners do, you may have been overlooking messages your cat has been sending you for years without making a sound. Before going any further, understand this. If you truly care about understanding your cat instead of simply living with one, you need to start paying attention to the behaviors most people ignore. Because what you're about to hear goes much deeper than most people realize. Let's begin with the first thing almost every cat owner gets wrong. 1. It was never just about warmth. A lot of people assume the reason your cat climbs into bed at night is simple. You're warm, the room is cool, end of story. But there's a problem with that explanation. Cats are experts at finding comfortable places to sleep. They can stretch out on the couch, curl up on a blanket, hide inside a laundry basket, nap in a sunny window, rest on a soft chair, or sleep on the cool floor during hot weather. If temperature were the only thing that mattered, your cat would have endless options. So why do they repeatedly choose you? Because sleep is when your cat is most vulnerable. In nature, resting meant risk. A sleeping animal cannot fully monitor its surroundings. It becomes slower to react, less aware, more exposed. And yet your cat walks past every other comfortable spot in the house and chooses to settle beside a human many times larger than them. That is not just about heat, that is trust. Research on feline attachment has shown that cats form emotional bonds with humans in ways many people underestimate. Even though cats express affection differently than dogs, they still create strong attachment patterns with the people they feel safest around. When your cat sleeps beside you, they are communicating something without words. They are telling you they feel secure in your presence. And that matters more than most people understand. Now here's something many owners completely overlook. If your cat suddenly stops sleeping near you after doing it consistently for months or years, do not dismiss it as random behavior. The reason behind that change can be more important than you think, and later you'll understand exactly why. 2. Your cat is mixing their scent with yours. Have you ever noticed your cat rubbing against you before lying down? Maybe they circle the bed, knead the blanket, brush their face against your arm, or press their body against your side before finally settling into place. That is not random behavior. Cats experience the world heavily through scent. Their scent glands are located around the face, cheeks, paws, and body. Every time your cat rubs against you or sleeps near you, they leave behind subtle chemical signals. When your cat chooses to sleep pressed against you, they are not only getting comfortable, they are blending scents. In the animal world, shared scent means shared belonging. Cats identify trusted members of their environment partly through smell. When your cat repeatedly sleeps beside you night after night, they are reinforcing a shared identity. You are familiar, you are safe, you belong together. That is also why your cat may intensely sniff you when you come home from somewhere unfamiliar. Your scent changed, you smell different. New places, new people, new environments all temporarily disrupt the scent profile your cat recognizes. That nighttime closeness helps restore that familiar connection. And once you start seeing it this way, those quiet moments beside your cat stop feeling small. They become something much deeper. 3. Your cat may believe they are watching over you. Have you ever noticed your cat chooses specific sleeping positions at night? Maybe they settle near the bedroom door. Maybe they sleep at the foot of the bed. Maybe they stay along your chest, behind your back, or between you and the entrance to the room. That positioning is not accidental. Even the most pampered indoor cat still carries instincts shaped by survival. For generations, awareness and positioning mattered, Animals that rested carelessly were more vulnerable to danger. When your cat sleeps facing the doorway, they are monitoring movement. When they stay close to your body, they are placing themselves where their instincts interpret safety and awareness. Will your cat physically defend you from every threat? Maybe, maybe not. But inside their mind, they often feel connected to your safety. Cats may seem independent on the surface, but bonded cats become deeply aware of the routines and well-being of the humans they trust most. That sense of responsibility is not something you consciously trained. It's instinctive, and every night your cat returns to that same sleeping position, they reinforce that role again. Now, pay attention to this next part carefully, because the way your cat sleeps tells you even more. For every sleeping position sends a message. Does your cat curl tightly into a ball while sleeping beside you? That posture protects vulnerable areas of the body. It is a partially guarded position. If your cat consistently stays curled while sleeping near you, it can indicate comfort, but not complete surrender. It is trust with a layer of caution. Now think about what it means when your cat stretches out completely beside you. Legs extended, belly exposed, sometimes lying on their back without concern. That is vulnerability at one of the highest levels. A cat's stomach is an extremely sensitive area. Exposing it during sleep means your cat believes the environment around them is safe, including you. That level of relaxation is earned over time. And what about when your cat turns their back toward you? Some owners misunderstand this behavior and think it signals distance or disinterest. In reality, it often means the opposite. In feline social behavior, turning away from someone while remaining close can be a sign of trust. Your cat does not feel the need to constantly monitor you because they already feel secure around you. And then there's full body contact, pressed against your legs, curled into your chest, resting directly on your stomach, wedged tightly against your side in positions that barely look comfortable. That is not clinginess. That is emotional bonding. Your cat is minimizing physical distance because closeness creates security. 5. Your cat adjusts their routine around you. Here's something most people never think about. Cats naturally have activity patterns that do not always perfectly match human schedules. Their instincts are influenced by hunting behavior, especially during dawn and dusk, and yet bonded cats often shift their routines. They stay awake while you are active, they settle down when you settle down, they learn your bedtime. Some even appear before your alarm goes off in the morning because they anticipate your routine with incredible accuracy. Studies observing domestic cats living closely with humans have shown synchronization effects over time. Cats gradually adapt parts of their sleep and activity cycles to align with the people they feel attached to. Think about how meaningful that really is. An internal rhythm shaped by generations of instinct slowly changes because attachment motivates adjustment. Your cat wants to exist around your schedule. They want to rest when you rest. They want to remain connected to your rhythm. That synchronization is not mechanical, it is relational. 6. Your cat senses your emotions before you realize them yourself. Have you ever had an exhausting day and suddenly noticed your cat unusually close that night? Maybe they stayed beside you longer than normal. Maybe they rested directly on your chest. Maybe they followed you from room to room before finally sleeping next to you. That is not coincidence. Cats are highly sensitive to subtle changes in human behavior and physiology. When you are stressed, your breathing changes, your posture shifts, your voice tightens, your scent changes due to hormonal fluctuations connected to stress and emotion. Your cat notices these signals long before you consciously process them. Research has shown that cats can recognize emotional cues in human voices and facial expressions. Over time, your cat learns your normal patterns, your normal breathing, your usual movement, your average emotional state. Night after night, while sleeping beside you, they absorb those patterns. So when something changes, anxiety, sadness, illness, grief, emotional exhaustion, your cat notices the difference. That is why some cats become more physically attached when their owner is emotionally struggling or unwell. They are not responding out of obligation. They are responding out of connection. And sometimes that connection becomes stronger during difficult periods than most people realize. 7. If your cat suddenly stops sleeping near you, pay attention. If your cat has slept beside you consistently for a long time and then suddenly chooses somewhere else, do not ignore the change. Cats are creatures of habit. A behavioral shift this noticeable is rarely meaningless. Sometimes the reason is physical. Pain, arthritis, discomfort, illness. Older cats especially may start avoiding certain sleeping areas if jumping onto the bed becomes uncomfortable or if softer surfaces no longer feel supportive. If your cat suddenly changes sleeping habits, especially later in life, paying attention to their health is important. Sometimes the reason is environmental, a new pet, a new person in the house, loud noises, different furniture. Changes in routine, even subtle stressors that seem insignificant to you, can feel deeply unsettling to your cat. Cats rely heavily on familiarity and predictability. Small disruptions can affect them far more than most people realize. And sometimes the reason is emotional. Cats associate places with feelings and experiences. If something frightening or stressful happened in the bedroom, your cat may begin avoiding that area as a protective response. The important thing is this: when your cat originally chose to sleep beside you, that decision was deliberate. And if they suddenly withdraw from that routine, that decision is also deliberate. It is communication. Your cat may not speak with words, but behavior is still language, and nighttime behavior often reveals emotions more honestly than daytime behavior ever could. 8. Your cat sleeps beside you because you became part of their safe world. This is the part many people never fully understand. Cats are naturally cautious animals. They do not casually expose vulnerability. They do not randomly choose emotional closeness. Trust from a cat is earned slowly, quietly, and through repeated experiences that prove safety over time. Every night your cat chooses your bed, your chest, your side, or the space beside your legs. They are repeating that trust again. You became associated with comfort, with routine, with familiarity, with safety. That may sound simple, but for a cat, it is incredibly significant. Because safety is one of the strongest emotional foundations in feline behavior. When your cat sleeps deeply beside you, they are lowering their guard in your presence. That is not a small thing. It means your presence calms their nervous system instead of activating it. Your scent feels familiar instead of threatening. Your movements feel predictable instead of dangerous. And over time, your cat begins treating your presence as part of their secure environment. That is why many cats choose to stay close during the quietest hours of the night, because those are the hours when vulnerability matters most. 9. Your cat remembers emotional consistency. Cats pay attention to patterns more than most people realize. They remember who handles them gently. They remember who respects boundaries. They remember where they felt calm, and they remember where they felt fear. When your cat repeatedly sleeps beside you, part of that behavior comes from emotional consistency. You became predictable to them. Your cat learned your habits, your routines, your nighttime behavior. Your emotional energy and predictability creates trust. This is one reason cats often become deeply attached to people who move calmly around them and respect their signals instead of constantly forcing interaction. Cats are extremely sensitive to overstimulation. and unpredictability. So when they repeatedly choose closeness during sleep, they are showing confidence in the emotional environment you create around them. That trust builds slowly, but once established, it becomes deeply meaningful. 10. Your cat is communicating love in the quietest possible way. People often expect affection to look dramatic, excited greetings, constant attention, obvious displays. But cats communicate differently. Their affection is often subtle, quiet, gentle, easy to miss if you are not paying attention. A cat sleeping beside you is not simply choosing a location. They are choosing proximity during their most defenseless state. They are choosing familiarity over isolation. They are choosing connection over distance. And for an animal as cautious and selective as a cat, that decision carries enormous emotional weight. So the next time your cat curls up beside you at night, don't reduce it to something small. Don't assume it's only about warmth or habit. Look closer, because your cat may be communicating trust, safety, attachment, emotional awareness, and a bond much deeper than most people ever realize. The nightly ritual of your cat sleeping beside you was never meaningless to them. It was connection. It was comfort. It was emotional synchronization. It was belonging. And maybe the most important question is not whether your cat loves you. Maybe the real question is whether you've been listening closely enough to understand what they've been trying to say all along.